Before we dive into the fun part, memory, the last, well, not the last, one of the big kind of integrative centers or integrative type systems that we have in the brain, because we have the limbic system and we have the reticular activating system. Those are two kind of massive systems in the brain. And with either one of them, right now, the limbic system, this is not necessarily isolated in like a specific part. As you can see from those first two bullets there, it's a bunch of different regions, whether it be the cerebrum, the diencephalon, a multitude of different regions, right? This limbic system ties into these various different regions, and actually all of these different structures here are involved with a specific different type of emotion. So the limbic system is your emotional brain. It used to be called like the smell brain way back when, but because smells would trigger certain things, certain emotions. And so that's why it was given the name smell brain. Like rhinencephaly, I think is what they called it way back when. But now we understand it's not necessarily the smell, it's the emotion tied to the smell. Because you can have emotions tied to smell, taste, hearing, sound, all that stuff, seeing stuff. So you can have emotions with everything. So this emotional brain is a limbic system. And actually, we even have some frontal cortex connections up into these various different structures here. So we can get these very emotional responses, these emotional drives that override what we know is not the proper way to act. Okay. And so that's where, people can get in trouble with being emotional, trying to stay in control of yourself so you don't override those prefrontal cortex understanding what's right and wrong concepts. Here's all the regions in green. Okay, whatever. Right. But here you can see aggression in the amygdala, the hypothalamus. And the hypothalamus does everything. I don't know why the book felt the need to explain on it every single one. Really, the hypothalamus is full of nuclei. So many dang nuclei. It has its hands in the cookie jar with everything. So the hypothalamus is a pretty important structure in the grand scheme of things. Aggression, fear, hunger, satiety, goals. This limbic system, this hypothalamus is intimately involved with a number of different things. One of the major things this hypothalamus will be involved with as well, along with the hippocampus, is going to be memories. And working with soldiers with severe emotional trauma, they've been able to kind of understand a little bit about what emotion plays into memory and how you can block a memory or prevent a memory from being consolidated in and remembering it. That's what that means. And so you see this with a lot of PTSD survivors, okay? Doesn't have to be war. It could be, getting beat up. It could be, watching somebody die. Okay? There are a number of obviously severe emotional concepts that can get in there and actually affect memory. The amygdala, the hippocampus, which is near all these dudes. There's a lot of connections in there. And it can really throw a monkey wrench into the concept of helping to form memories. Remember a memory, recall a memory. And even though we may understand in a very traumatic event that oh my God, I don't want to do that again. But it's so traumatic, even though you may form the memory, may form the neural connections to make it, the ability to recall it is not strengthened. And if I don't strengthen that connection, it makes it very difficult to recall it, which sounds super bizarre. It's like, why make the connection? Why make the neural network to create the memory, but not be able to pull it out and recall it? And when it comes to emotions, I think it's Progressive, Liberty Mutual. I don't know. Good Lord, I don't know. But they talk about in their commercial, connecting a memory, connecting something that they want to tell somebody about with an emotional response. Yeah. And they do that. And they put some explosions in their commercial when they're telling you to save, money on car insurance. But if you are intimately involved and it's something that you're not prepared for, it actually interferes with those connections that need to be made to pull it out of storage, to apply it and use it again. So memory, limbic system, even though it's not specifically part of the whole learning or forming a memory process, it has connections in a lot of these parts here that go to making a memory that can interfere with it and inhibit those dendritic connections that we'll see here in a second.